This new airplane from Tower Hobbies has all the potential to be the best airplane under $200 of 2024. That's because it's plug and play, out of the box, less than an hour of assembly. It actually took me maybe 25 minutes to put this together, but from the tip of the plane and that chrome spinner and beautiful 3-bladed prop, all the way back to the scale details across the entire Cessna, when under the canopy we've got ample room for anywhere between a 1300 milliamp to 2200 milliamp 3S LiPo. We even have wing lights on this plane. It has ailerons, flaps that are actually hinged. Check this out. Those are plastic hinges. They are not just foam crease flaps. Scale details down to the wheel pants. Those fit in snug. We have our step back here, antenna on top, and even to the back of the airplane we have rudder and elevator control surfaces. This is a beautiful Cessna 400, which is amazing, and this is a 1.1 meter wingspan on this absolutely beautiful plane. I'm very excited to fly this, especially because of that price point. Again, I think this is going to be the unsung hero of 2024 for any airplane existing under $200. Right now, it'll be linked in the description box below, and know that they also run sales and deals all the time, especially for their members on Tower Hobbies. Let's fly.
Ooh, going old school, Nate.
What, my tactic?
Yeah.
Listen, anything that's flying Tower Hobbies needs to fly tactic. And in my opinion, this airplane could have the potential to save Tower Hobbies. We've seen a couple other releases this year, and they were very unique, but not high on the performance side of things. Now, this airplane has an opportunity to appeal to a lot of people with the scale looks and the size, but especially that price point. So if we can see more planes in this level of detail at this price point, I think we're gonna have a huge win on our hands for Tower Hobbies.
Hashtag bring back the Millennium Master.
Hashtag absolutely, oh my gosh. It's really a beautiful plane. I love my lights. We have a landing light and then on the wing, and then we also have our nav lights, and that's beautiful. Brushless motor with that chrome spinner and the painted prop and a steerable nose wheel. So let's actually try to taxi it real fast, just a little bit, so we can all see how well it steers. Now, I do have Expo in here, and I'll tell you what my Expo is as I fly, but let's go ahead and take off. Again, this is a maiden flight, so you guys are actually seeing for the very first time this thing in the air, which we always do on our channel, but it might need some trimming. That's why I tell you that, and it does. It needs just a little touch of up, not much. Usually you don't trim on banks, but I'm trying to be very efficient here. Look at that landing light, that is bright. Yeah. Okay, it's starting to feel really good. I'm only at about half throttle, trimming my ailerons, and now we're honed in nicely. So we're gonna fly at scale for all of our scale guys just for a minute. Then I'm definitely gonna wake this up, but I'm at about 60% throttle right now, just cruising on my 3S battery on that 2200 milliamp. We should get really long flight times. Yeah, this is nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Now you ready to wake it up? Let's go.
Wake it up.
Look at that climb rate. Wow. And we'll bring it in. Abby, you say it.
Well, it snapped.
I think it's going to. Oh yeah, I had a feeling it would. Yes. This is going to be a very agile plane. I could just tell with that length of the wing and the fact that it's kind of a narrow wing, if that makes sense to you guys. It's not a very huge wide profile. We get some nice ability to roll the airplane when we're in the air, so it's not just a stale flyer. Look at that. We have really good control over this plane. Now right now I'm flying with 25% expo on aileron, 25 I think I went with on elevator, and then 20 on rudder. And that's pretty much my standard out of the box. Anywhere from scale to 3D, I tend to start there and see if it needs less or more as I fly. So Oh yeah, feels really good. This is what I like to see out of big companies like Tower Hobbies, is a fresh plane that feels new and nice and looks the part, flies the part. We've got nice electronics in there. It didn't give me troubles putting it together at all. It's a really good feeling plane from the time you pull it out of the box. And I will say, also Tower Hobbies, just the presentation out of the box is better than the last two you've done with the way you bagged the separate parts and things. Nothing got dented or dinged up. Just the scale plane looks awesome. And this is what Tower Hobbies has needed, because this reminds me of back with Abby's Millennium Master, the Tower Hobbies P51. They had another, was it the Hellcat?
There was a Hellcat and a Corsair.
That's right, the Corsair too. This reminds me of those, but in fact, it's nicer than those. The scale looks are double, if not triple, what those planes offered. And in my opinion, this performance is higher too. It could just be that I'm maybe a little bit more experienced now than then, but I don't think that's the case. I think this is definitely flying much better. Let's give it a nice little snap again out here. Oh, I just lost my canopy. That was a hard snap. Watch it go down. I'm fine. The plane is fine. Do you see it for me? Plane's fine.
I have no idea.
Land it. I'm going to get my feet wet for sure. So this thing will snap so hard it'll launch the canopy right off of there.
Whoops.
Okay.
Land it.
Just bring it down at half flaps. Whoops, I had to look down at my radio. So
You forgot what your flaps were, didn't you?
Well, on a different radio, yes. So I'm flying at half flaps. We're going to come around that curve, then land it, then go look for my canopy, and we'll continue this flight. I hope I can find it. Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I tried to film it, but
A little bounce, but that wasn't too bad.
so small I couldn't see it on my camera.
Finding my canopy. Is it in the cattails?
I have no idea. I don't think so. It's somewhere over there.
Okay.
I'll watch the video, see if I can find it. Is it on the edge?
I think it's right here.
I thought it was pretty close. This is what we call the walk of shame, although I don't know if this was pilot error or not. You think it was just your wires pushing on it?
A little bit. The wires definitely are not helping, but just that crazy hard snap just lost the magnet. But I secured my wires, so I think that'll help. Because of the detail of the cockpit, we don't have a lot of room down in here, so the wires are pushing up. And then we're just relying on that magnet to hold. So we just won't snap it quite as hard. Let's do a half flap takeoff. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And flaps off. And we'll just keep it a little more tame, but clearly it can handle everything I was throwing at it. And this is just a beautiful flyer. I think it's benefiting massively from Expo because it just softens it up and makes it feel like a bigger plane. Now, there's people that have been asking me lately, what does Expo mean? I'll try to explain it a little bit, but it basically deadens the center of your stick to make it more tame. So in the past, I like to fly by, if I move my right stick for aileron control 20% on the actual transmitter, I like the aileron control surface to move 20% as well. It makes sense to me in my head. It's getting the exact 1-to-1 ratio response out of the movement input that I'm giving it. Okay, that makes sense. But when it comes to a little plane like this, especially when you're doing something like landing and you got nervous thumbs, it makes your stick, when you're controlling it in the middle, you can have slightly big movements. Like let's say I move the stick 30%, the aileron control surface will move something like 10%. So it just gives you a little smoother control when your stick is in the middle. But when you push it out to the outside and you want to roll it, let's say, you still get 100% control surface movement out of it, assuming you have it at 100% rates. You can increase your rates and get more movement out of those servos too. But I've had people asking me about the lingo, the language, the acronyms and stuff, and that's one thing that confuses newer pilots. It really does help, and it's not a hard thing to set up in your radio. And again, this airplane is benefiting from it massively. I'm a huge fan of the way this thing flies. Look at that, I can almost hold a knife edge. It does drop, that was full rudder. Not really made for knife edging, but it's just a beautiful plane, it really is. Nice and scale. And I'm not sure if I've been quiet on a pass yet, unlikely, so I'll give you a nice quiet pass. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Here's something else I should probably address.
What's up?
When I yell at you for flying over us, you're never actually over us.
Right.
Just so you guys know. I mean, with how I film, I can only tilt my camera up
Limited amounts.
a limited amount. So when I say you're over us, I'm really just mean, Nate, you're too close. I can't tilt my camera as I have with my filming setup that high. So, just to be clear. Someone yelled at us about that the other day.
Well, yeah, they did. It's funny, like, we do our videos, and I don't want to lose focus on the fact that this airplane has so much bang for your buck, but because of who we are, I guess, and that we try to preach safe flying and stuff, anytime there's any remote question of us not being safe, people...
We're always safe, but everybody makes mistakes, first of all.
People just really love to crack down on us anytime we're not shaming people for not flying safe. Although, if you're a YouTuber and you're doing things that are hurting the hobby, I wish more people would, call people out for that stuff, because it does hurt us all. It hurts the whole hobby, not just people that are uploading videos on YouTube. Anyway, 1.1 meter airplane. It's a really good size. And now let's cook that throttle. Now I'm full throttle, just so you know. I fly almost never full throttle.
You go.
Yeah, see, fast.
Wow.
Here we go. Full throttle. Keeping it higher so Abby can track it, but that's full throttle. Most of the time when I'm flying, I'm not full throttle.
That is fast.
It is fast.
Holy moly.
This is just a 3S battery. It's a good size airplane. Good size airplane. I eased off on the throttle some, but like if we just want to go full throttle and climb up over here, we're going to lose it. I'm going to lose it.
I almost did, didn't you?
Well,
this sky is so difficult.
Unfortunately, we're flying in between hurricanes, and my heart goes out to all these people that have been affected so badly by all these hurricanes. At the time of filming this, we don't even know how extensive it is, other than a few people uploading videos to short form content channels and stuff. So it's been pretty crazy. We're lucky and blessed to be out here right now just flying a plane. But yeah, there's a lot of people going through like a lot of stuff right now. So our heart goes out to everybody that's struggling right now, and I hope that I hope you guys are doing okay. Especially, I know we have viewers all over the country, so knowing that some of our viewers are struggling really breaks my heart. I mean, yeah, it's wild. I hope people are just getting safe is the main thing. This has to be my favorite Tower Hobbies plane that I have ever flown by far. Let's do a touch and go. Oh, that
was a fast touch and go.
You know what? It held down really well. That was nice. This is a really good looking, very nice scale plane. Let's do inverted. We haven't done that yet. And honestly, this has so much potential. Not even potential. I think it is the best plane. I'm gonna have to really jog my memory, but under $200. We're at UMX prices. I know I shouldn't have rolled out there. I didn't want to go buy inverted because it just felt like it was falling out. It's not the best inverted flyer. I had to give a lot of elevator input. Like at $200, you're in UMX price point. This is definitely bigger and in a lot of ways nicer than a UMX plane. Now you don't get the bind and fly aspect, the ease of use with UMX, right? It's not pulling out of a box, you're assembling it just a little bit. We'll do a full flap pass coming down the runway.
You're at like 8.5 minutes.
Oh, it's an insane flight time.
Okay.
I knew we could go all day with this on a 2200. We won't fly much longer. But just talking about price alone, there's full flaps. We'll do it right over the runway. This is an insane bang for your buck. You got to come up with a receiver. And flaps off and throttle up. There we go. The next one's going to be a landing. But yeah, I'm super impressed with this, Abby. It's a very nice airplane.
Cool.
Very nice airplane. I want to see more stuff like this in this size and price point. If they can keep it under 200 bucks at Tower Hobbies and do stuff, even warbirds like this is crazy impressive.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that may have been the best landing for you of 2024.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That was silky smooth. Wow.
I'll take that compliment.
Good job, Nate. Sun's out now.
Crazy. Okay, now, I don't want anyone to be misled here. I'm not suggesting that this is a perfect airplane. As a matter of fact, I have yet to experience a perfect airplane. But let's talk about the things that keep it from perfection. And Abby pointed it out, and I saw it too when I was assembling it. First and foremost, in our opinions, both of us agree, the plastic to foam cowl, that line, it's a little ugly because although they're both white, you can see the color difference, and it's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen on an airplane. That might be a turnoff for some people, but it's not enough of a turnoff for me to keep from flying that, and it certainly wouldn't be enough of a turnoff to keep from buying it. Now the other thing, and we experienced it today while flying, you guys should already know what I'm gonna say, is the fact that this fell off when I was flying. Now it's not a big deal. My all-time favorite airplane ever is the E-Flight Commander. Probably still holds number one, if not really, really close. It did for a couple years in a row. And its magnetic canopy has the same issue, and the way I like to fly it, I tape it on every flight so it doesn't fall off. So that's a small issue, and it's paired with the fact that even though you have ample space in here, it does seem to have a little bit of wiring issue. Just, it's like there was not enough wire or too much wire when they thought to put this thing together, and because of the angle you have to put the battery in there, it creates this little bind where the wires are pushing up on the canopy. It's a little deceiving because you only have the amount of space actually what's cut out in foam here. If there's anything pushing up on that, then it's a bit of a problem. So you only have that space, not the bubble, right? And that's because of the little seats and stuff in there. Otherwise, this thing is amazing. I wish there were more performance scale planes like this at this price point. This almost feels like we're cheating the system here. Like we found a loophole. We're breaking the economy with, why isn't this $250? Isn't that about where it should be? It's $180, right? Don't tell them I said that, because that's where the prices of things are now. And I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this. There's not a lot of negative I can say about it. And I'm truly impressed. Be forewarned, the only thing that's like old school about this assembly is you do have to glue on 3 hinges. And don't tell anybody, but I use hot glue and I never have any problem with it. Everyone's gonna tell you to use CA. I'm gonna tell you to use CA, but I use hot glue and it holds just fine, okay? And I shouldn't have waited so long to do this airplane because I'm a huge fan. That's a good sized plane too. Having said all that, I do things that the instructions say not to do, and I'm not telling you to do it, and you know, maiden flights, canopies falling off, fly with AMA, right? There's your security blanket, there's your safety net. If you're gonna have a crash or an incident, something happens that's out of your control, hurricanes blow in, oh, God forbid, AMA is the Academy of Model Aeronautics. They're insurance for those of us that fly and drive RC planes. They fight the good fight for us. They represent the hobby. No matter what you think about them not representing us enough, they do. And they do it for under $100 a year, which is insane. Magazine subscription, you're insured, and they actually go to bat for us when the FAA wants to say, you're not allowed to fly your foam toys. It's not because the AMA didn't do enough, it's because YouTubers are uploading them flying planes over people's houses and stupid stuff. That's why the FAA is stepping in, and the AMA is there to hit the brakes and try to preserve the hobby as much as they possibly can on the very limited budget that they have. So we're very impressed and very happy and thankful that AMA exists. I strongly encourage you fly with them, and if you have a negative opinion of them, dig a little deeper in those pockets and give them more of your money, and maybe we'd have more freedoms with the RC hobby. I don't know what else to tell you. Money talks, unfortunately, so you know, that's why people care about us flying our foam. They will be linked in the description box below, as well as this airplane. And if you buy this airplane where we have it linked, I think it's the only place in the world you can buy it, don't forget to sign up for their point system, okay? If you're a first-time customer, sign up and take advantage of those points. You can buy smart batteries and all kinds of stuff using your points and get them cheaper. So huge benefit for everyone if you decide to buy this plane. It's awesome. I love it. Huge home run. I can easily say this is an awesome plane for under $200, and you cannot go wrong, and it needs to get a lot more love and attention, so be sure to pick one up. You will thank me later. I want to say a massive thanks to God for blessing us with a little window of opportunity. It's even calm, which is awesome, to fly this plane and share this experience with you guys. I'm so grateful, and so for that, I thank him. I also want to say a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters, because we couldn't do what we do as often as we do it without your insanely awesome support. Please consider signing up for Patreon to fuel family-friendly content like this. If you want to see more of it, Patreon will be popping up right about now. Guys, if you love this scale plane and you like that price point, we'll have a hand-picked video popping up right about now just for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.